pre-show? Yes, there's our pre-show. Hi, everybody.
There you go.
Are we live? Are we live?
Yeah.
Do we need to share? We need to share?
Yeah, we need to go share.
Sunny and share? Where is it? Where is it? Refresh the screen. Oh, look, there we are. What kind of dumb stare do we have on our face this time? Yep, same as usual.
Usually get a notification that we're live on Facebook, but there we go.
Share no public. Yes,
did you read the description? It said Facebook needs a description for the live broadcast. So.
No, Facebook does. YouTube doesn't.
Did you see what I wrote?
No.
I said, listen to a couple of fools talk about things they like they know what they're talking about.
we can fool the algorithm.
That's right.
We're going to do On This Day in History a cappella tonight. You know, people are singing that with us right now.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they're not. There's nobody watching. Nobody watching live.
Well, we didn't make the pre-show post.
Yeah. They know what time to show up. We tell them every show. 9:30 Eastern on Sunday nights.
That's right.
Or whatever it is in your time zone. Mm-hmm.
So right. Donna get home all right?
Donna got home all right.
Good.
Wasn't she home last weekend?
No.
Yeah, she was home last weekend.
Sunday night. Picking her up after we were finished the topic is Trek.
That was...
Or no, last week.
She's been home more... Yeah, she's been home more than 2 days.
No, I think you were going to the airport after the show.
Which show? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, after this one. You're right. She did get home Sunday night. Yeah.
Yes, I knew she was coming. I didn't know when.
It was a little late. But it was okay. She made it home safe. And we had a wonderful week ever since. Okay, I think we got everything in order to get going. How about you?
I'm good. Oh, right. We got
one. I'm going to say it's John Miller Jr., but somebody can put something in the chat and prove me wrong.
That's right.
Having a drink at a space bar. Oh!
At the space bar.
Yeah, at the space bar. Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're welcome to make up some titles.
Dad humor. Nerd dad humor.
Yeah.
I'll let one of those go on.
Out of all the titles we've made over the years, dare I say, I don't think any of them have overlapped.
It's Clinton. It's just Clinton. Why don't you just jump in and we'll do the topic as Trek tonight?
Yeah, he's contractually obligated to show up.
He's not even a patron.
But yeah, I think I've done pretty good not duplicating any of the titles over the 17 years.
Yeah. I think we had a close call once. Here, let me show you a Twitter message that I thought was funny from Obble Tudor.
Clinton says he needs a new lawyer.
Let's see, how do you make it just the tweet? There it is. Share screen. And I want to share screen number 3.
Show me the one with all the passwords on it.
There we go. Someone sent me a compressed Unix file of their graphical user interface files. They called it GUI.tar.z, and I thought it would make a great band name. Guitars. Get it? GUI.tar.z.
Contemplating Batman. Yep.
Yeah, contemplating Batman. All right, that was nerd dad humor. Okay, there's our show notes. Everybody can read them, and then we don't have to do a podcast.
Able Tudor, I'll tell you what.
Obble.
Excuse me, Obble Tudor.
Add to stream. Remove from stream. There we go. And I need to be over there. Otherwise,
yeah, you know, it's funny. I see him at work all the time, but he's always complaining about that monitor being broken.
Got more tickets than anyone else. Clinton needs a new lawyer. He wants out of his contract.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no. The only way you get off the only way to leave the family
is to leave the family.
It would be a shame for something to happen to you.
You know, podcasts are dangerous. People get hurt, you know.
Clinton asked me to do a voice for his podcast a day thing. And he said, I need an old man. I'm like, wait a minute. My old man sounds an awful lot like your old man.
Mine?
No, his Cap.
Oh, yeah.
Is this the 13th floor?
Yeah. Ooh. That's funny.
I
Yeah, I
I
already
had to
did
come
my
up with a
part.
new man. I had to come up with a new old man character.
A new old man.
Hey, I was on Grammar Girls podcast
What? Were you?
Friday. Yeah, I
I
sent her a
have some.
Familec.
I've got something to send in for that specific thing. What was yours?
Well, it's been like I said, it's been 15 years, and it's every once in a while somebody goes, Chuck, I heard you on Grammar Girl. Like, you're listening to like the 2006 episodes,
Oh
dude.
gosh.
So I
Right.
said, it's time to renew this fun. So I sent her one. I said, hi, Grammar Girl. Story from when our daughter was really young. She used to mix up freezing cold, and it would often be windy, so it was breezy at the same time. And she said, "Ooh, it's breezing cold."
Yeah. Right.
So now whenever it's cold, we say, "Ooh, it's breezing cold out," which doesn't happen a whole lot in Phoenix, but you get the general idea. And
Yeah.
then she said, Chuck's one of my old podcast friends. He co-authored Podcasting for Dummies and is co-host of the Technorama podcast show. So we got a plug. That was very
Right.
nice.
I do. I have one for. I need to send in. I've been meaning to for a long time. Um, whenever, uh, as as not gross, but as this is with a family with a couple of boys.
Hold on. I think we need to block somebody from Facebook or something. You see that
Yeah.
comment?
Yeah.
That's
So,
lovely.
what uh what would happen in our family when be at the table and one of us would burp, one would say do rock, the other one would say pig.
Yes.
Well, growing up, I just thought do rock was a made up word.
Nope.
Turns out as I got older, I found when I was probably about 50, I found out, oh, do rock is a domesticated pig.
Kind of pig, yeah. It'd be like
Yeah.
somebody yelling out,
So,
"Razorback!" You should have
so
a different kind of pig every time. So
yeah,
now when you
so
burp, you say "do-rock"?
So we ended up when we had a burp, we did a challenge and response, and I thought it was a made up word, but oh well.
So
Found out it
now when you
wasn't.
burp, you go "do-rock" when you
Yeah,
burp.
one day I just happened to Google do rock. I went, holy crap, it's a pig. Oh, now it makes sense. That's why
They were
dad would always
calling you
follow up and say
a
pig.
specific kind of pig. Very
Yeah.
nice. Yep, you gotta send that to her.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
And now when you burp, you say "do-rock." Yeah, it takes all of 30 seconds to make one of those things, Craig.
Oh, I know. I just I think about it when I'm in the car when I'm or when I'm listening to
You
a
can
podcast.
call. She's got a listener line thing that
I'm
specifically for that, but I didn't
yeah,
wanna
I know.
call the listener line. I wanted to sound like I was on a good microphone.
Right. Well, yeah, I do. I think the same thing. So
All right,
anyway, I'll have to.
10 minutes in, and we haven't done our show
I
yet,
guess when
so
when I call in, I'm gonna have to plug the topic as Trek since you did your own, right? Yeah.
that'll work. You can find Craig at spindle.com. Okay. Give me another audio check. Oh, mine's going off the charts. Let me
Chickadee check,
let me
chickadee
back
check.
down the recorder. The recorder is a little
Hello.
sensitive right now. Glad we caught it now instead of making
All right.
Phonic
How
do
do I
all the hard
sound?
work.
Do I sound good? Do I sound good? Do I sound decent?
That's a rhetorical question, right?
Yeah. No, it's not. Man, why can't I block this guy? User was blocked. User is blocked. All right. Oh, it just doesn't go away. I see. All right. That's fine.
Delete comment. I'm deleting those comments from Facebook. I'm sorry I can't read your writing. Query. Oh, I got something from Facebook. Query error. Error performing query. So that's a bit self-descriptive, isn't it?
Thanks. Thanks. It's a little meta, isn't it?
Oh, boom. Yeah, here you.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
get the
Thank you.
right
You're all weak. That's right.
Okay, we have a sad trombone coming up later, I think. Let's get this show started, shall we?
Oh, I do need to ask you a question real quick before we start.
Do
I
we
was
need to
thinking since
mute
the
the
show,
microphones or something?
no, since the show's a little lopsided, I was thinking about moving the Remember When
What do you mean it's a little
after our
lopsided?
past.
This show is always lopsided. That's the whole point of this show. What do
Okay.
you mean me? Because there's 2 news stories and 3 remember when?
Yeah, I was going to move the Remember When after the Pass Through and Wrote. If you don't want me to, I don't worry about it.
Forge on, my friend. Forge on.
All right. For John? Sure. He's listening. He's
Well,
watching.
I didn't want to say format because then everybody's hard drive would be
Yeah,
erased.
format. Bzz. That's right.
All right, we are just rare form tonight, I think.
I think we already started this show, right?
We should start a podcast. We should just record this stuff as we go.
Yeah,
These conversations are kind of funny.
that's a good idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, you now know what kind of nonsense goes on in
And
the Patreon show.
So time travel is real because we went back in time 17 years and started
I've
doing
heard stupider podcasts be more popular.
stupider. Okay.
I'm not bitter.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, I'm hitting the record button in 5,
Yeah.
4, 3, 2. Technorama episode 670, Having a Drink at the Space Bar. There's something comforting when you hear the intro to a podcast that you've been listening to for over a decade, and it starts out the same comfortable way, except for this one. I don't know what it is about this show. Welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time listening to Technorama, thank you for joining us. Or if you're watching, thank you for watching. If you're returning, welcome back. We appreciate you giving us your time. I'm Chuck Tomasi, and with me as always is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing fantastic, man. You're looking great tonight.
We are like the In-N-Out burger of the internet.
Are we? We taste great?
We're not the most popular. We speak a strange language, but hey, the few people that get us, they are loyal. So
they order the secret menu.
they speak the secret language. Yeah.
Right.
Of the animal double dipped, whatever that means.
And by the way, you got a proposed shirt on tonight. I was just thinking of
our
Dave
good friend
at the Evil
Dave.
Genius Chronicles because
what about him?
When you mentioned being nostalgic, hearing the intro of the show,
that kind of came to mind. Yeah,
I always think every time I listen to that intro, it's the same one he's had for this whole time, pretty much. And every time I hear it, I get that same feeling. Like
goosebumps.
Oh, here we go.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Now
I know him, so it's like whatever.
We should make a parody of that. Now you should listen to this because none of this concerns you.
That's right. You're
some
kind of evil genius.
You two are a bunch of nerds in the basement. Get that old Harrison clip. We'll put something together, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we had some feedback. We had a question for you last week, so let's play that wonderful feedback music. I'm clicking hyperlinks.
We get your letters every day. Mailman, mail today.
Reach right out and pull one out. Craig forgot to share the post.
Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
I didn't get any replies.
You didn't get any replies, then we're in good shape.
Yeah, we're going to be alternating from the same list.
That's right.
Oh, it's a wonderful weekend. Why do we get in a really good mood right before we go back to work? I'm not sure.
Yeah, because work just kind of ruins it.
I'm in the middle of making a wonderful Monday morning hangover.
Okay.
Our question last week was,
yeah,
what villain can you just not hate? Go ahead, start us out.
Let's see. Mike Robeson says Harcourt, Fenton, Mudd.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Pinky and the Brain.
Which one, Pinky or the Brain?
I think the Brain is more the villain, and Pinky's just right along. I don't know. The Dr. Loveless, Wild Wild West series. Not the horrible movie, he says.
Oh, I was gonna say I hate the movie.
Yeah.
John Miller Jr. says Megatron.
Megatron. Oh, Gary Lindros says Lex Luthor. Of course, he means the Gene Hackman version. I like Gene Hackman. It was hard to not to really hate him. So
Miss Tessmacher.
Okay. That's
right. Steve London said Hans Gruber and Cruella de Vil. That would make an interesting movie. Put those two together.
I don't think he meant to put them together, but yes, it would. It would. And of course, Gary Lindros said Hans Gruber as well.
He also agrees. We have some diehard fans out there.
So, who was your villain? that you can't hate?
I was gonna go with Hans Gruber, but that's already been used twice. I gotta think of another one.
So you can't really say Khan, although you really like Khan, the
Yeah,
character,
I like Khan.
but it's
I
do you
like
really
the Ricardo Montalban Khan.
right. Kind of
Let's
rhymes
get
there.
this straight.
So what would you say he's a character or a villain you
Is
not
the
hate or
is the
about
Borg Queen a villain?
yeah, I would say so.
She's just trying to
Well,
get by.
yeah. Well, I would say again, I mentioned another week, Thanos. I think Thanos, he was just doing his things by his convictions. Wasn't really being evil
Well,
per
so's the
se.
Borg Queen.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a
And
right to survive.
yeah, so I didn't really hate Thanos, although I disliked him a lot. You know, same thing with Borg Queen. It's like, oh, this ain't gonna end good. Anyway,
Isn't there a song about the uh not not Jim Neighbors Everything is Beautiful. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious. What's the song that goes through the other people colors and there's a purple one in there?
the purple.
Not a child is black, a child is white. No, there's a song that has something about someone's
Oh,
skin possibly being purple. What is that? It's rolling around in my head and I can't get it out. Okay, we're gonna move on then, because we're not here
I
to
can
sing
almost get to
songs.
the chorus. Hold on.
This'll throw you off. Anytime you're trying to think of a song and somebody throws another song at you, like stop doing that.
I know.
It's like
It's
shaking
like-
the etch a sketch.
It's like you're going 1, 2, 3. Somebody starts going 10, 12, 16, 18. Oh,
I had one of those instances where I was trying to remember somebody's name. I went, yeah, that guy. Yeah, I said the company and I said their role and I just could not remember their name. And the sad thing was, this new team member of ours is from that company and she couldn't remember either. So last night about 10 p.m.,
hmm
I sent her a Teams message. I went, boom, that's what the name was.
Yeah,
I remember it was like 36 hours after our conversation.
I do that all the time. You lay down in the bed and you start to clear your mind as you go to sleep, and you go, "Whoa!"
It's like there's two loose wires in the back of your brain, and they just gonna go zap zap spark.
Yeah. Yes, I know that one very well.
It's a small world. I don't think so.
Do what?
Uh,
Oh,
Mike Robeson said it's a small world. It's a small world after all. We're gonna get that song stuck in your head while we
Think
play
about
another
the
song to
child
stick in
is
your.
black.
Oh, we were gonna do this a cappella. Well, if we're singing, who's talking?
We're not
Or
saying.
do we
Go
just
ahead.
trade off? All right. It was on this day in history for April 13th, 2022. This is the 103rd day of the year. That means Monday is the 101 day. Cool. We ought to celebrate that. There are 262 days remaining as of this date in history in 2022. It was on this date in 1870 that the New York City Metropolitan Museum of Art is founded.
And
Who,
on
who
April,
lost it? How would
yeah, found it, not found. Founded.
Founded is the previous tense of found.
Look what I founded.
Or is it found?
Found. April 13th, 1953, CIA Director Alan Dulles.
Dulles! Dulles, it's the
Dulles,
name of an
excuse me.
airport.
He's Dulles. No, he's very Dulles. Launched the mind
Dulé?
control He launched the mind control program, Project McUltra.
MK Ultra. Don't you watch your history?
McUltra.
Sun used to have a series of computers called the Ultra, and I always thought they were somehow related. It's like,
Hey,
you
isn't
use this
that
computer?
isn't that the new Marvel movie coming out, McUltra?
MK Ultra would be a great band name. The United States launched Transit 1B, another great band name, the world's first satellite navigation system, on this date in 1960.
And it was also on this date in 1970 that an oxygen tank aboard the Apollo 13 service module exploded,
Boom!
putting the crew at great danger and causing major damage to the Apollo command and service module, codenamed Odyssey, while en route to the moon.
I'm not going to spoil what happens after that.
Yeah, you got to wait for Tom Hanks to show you.
On April 13th, 1976, the United States Treasury Department reintroduced the $2 bill as a Federal Reserve note on Thomas Jefferson's 233rd birthday as part of the United States bicentennial celebration. I'll bet I can guess one of the birthdays coming up.
No kidding, right?
Hey, happy birthday goes out on this date to English soldier, member of the gunpowder plot, probable death in 1606. I love that. Mr. Hey, look, he's theoretically he's the guy on my shirt. Guy Fawkes.
Yeah.
Born on this date in 1570.
And speaking of the guy that you were just talking about a moment ago, Thomas Jefferson, American
Guy
lawyer
Fawkes?
and
Oh.
yeah, Thomas Jefferson,
Tom Hanks?
American. No, not Thomas Hanks. He was an American lawyer and politician, third president of the United States. Was born on the same date in 1743. And no, not Tom Hanks.
Cornish English engineer and explorer Richard Trevithick was born on this date in 1771. Go engineers.
Yeah, an Irish engineer invented the screw pile lighthouse. Alexander Mitchell was born 242 years ago today.
Another good band name, Screwpile Lighthouse. Think about it. Isn't that awesome?
Screw
You
pile.
don't have-
yeah.
You don't have to search far on this show for a band
Don't
name.
even put the lighthouse on there. Just screw pile.
Screwpile. I don't know. I think the lighthouse, it's like Electric Light Orchestra. It wouldn't be the same if it was just an electric light.
Yeah.
Arthur Matthew Weld Downing, the Irish astronomer, was born on this same date in 1850.
An American businessman. He founded the F.W. Woolworth Company. Frank Winfield Woolworth was born 170 years ago today.
Oh, is that what the FW stands for? I've been getting it wrong all these years and got my mouth washed out with soap. American criminal Butch Cassidy, born on this date in 1866.
And born April 13th, 1879, American type designer, lettering artist, and graphic designer and educator, Oswald Bruce Cooper.
How many typefaces do you think that guy made that we still use today?
That's a good question. I'm going to guess,
A lot.
I was going to say 15. I don't know.
What's the name of the newspaper in Middling Fair? The Times Roman Courier. I'm sure
Right.
Clinton will type it in now if he's still watching.
That's right.
He knows it. He's typed it a bazillion times. Scottish engineer invented the radar, not Gary Berghoff or Radar O'Reilly. Robert Wilson Watt. His name didn't even have radar in it. He was born 130 years ago today.
And born April 13th, 1899, American architect and game designer. He created Scrabble, Alfred Mosher Butts.
Sorry. We're going to start
Hey.
calling this silly history or slap happy history.
Yeah.
Snarky
Musher
history or
Butts.
something.
No, Mosher Butts.
I think we need an extra comma in there because it looks like it says created
Yeah.
Scrabble Alfred Mosher Butts.
I know I had trouble reading that for a second. Yeah.
You read it fine for once. Alfred,
Thanks.
American businessman. He founded the Atlantic Richfield Oil Company. No, his name didn't have Atlantic or Richfield or oil or even company in it. His
Right.
name is Robert Orville Anderson, and he was born 1917.
All right. American geneticist and academic Nobel Prize laureate Michael Stewart Brown is 81 today.
Also born on that same date in 1949, New Zealand English mathematician and statistician Len Cook.
It sounds like you said like one name there. Lynn Cook. American actor Ron Perlman was born in the state in 1950. Wow.
Also turning 59 years old is Russian chess player and author Garry Kasparov. There's a good band name too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Garry
hey, the music is
Kasparov?
out, but we still have to do our birthdays. Listener birthdays this week include April 14th, Danny Harnish, my wife, Donna Tomasi.
Hey.
Happy birthday to her.
Miss Technorama.
Scafey on the 18th, Mrs. Technorama. Yes. If you listen to TG Geeks, that's the way she's addressed as well.
Yes.
Amanda, Susie the Geek's daughter and geek in training. I think she graduated by now.
I'll say she's probably
Um,
like 36.
I don't want to know. I just
Uh,
keep getting more and more old. The older your kids get, the older I get. It's a weird
Chuck.
phenomenon.
Chuck, time stands still for no one.
Time is your friend, and time is the fire in which we all burn.
Yeah.
There are so
Like-
many time metaphors and paraphrases and whatnot. Well, anyway, that's the way it was for this day, April 13th, even though the script still says February 17th. We're not sure why, but I think that had a time warp issue for 2022. If you want to get on the birthday calendar, Craig's going to pop up a link for everybody watching, and then the people listening are just going to have to read it. No, it's chuckchat.com/birthday. Go over there, put your name in the list, and we will get you a shout out when it's your birthday. Thank you very much to everybody who's done that so far. If it is your birthday this week and we didn't give you a shout out, well, happy birthday to you as well. You get chide us. You get, where's my Mario coin? Oh, here it is. It's a different color than all the other screens. Did you like punch the thing?
I did. Yeah. Ding.
Good job. Good job. All right, let's do a random news thing.
Good news, anyone?
Okay. There you go. Clinton says, time keeps on slipping into the future.
We are all about getting songs stuck in your head tonight.
Time is an herb.
Oh, that's thyme.
Herb? Who's Herb?
Herb Halbert.
Yeah. Herb Halbert.
Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. I watched a sketch comedy show one time they were doing that song. They had 3 cooks sitting around the pot stirring, and they said one throws in a little parsley, one throws in a little sage, one throws in a little rosemary. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and the last one throws in a clock.
Right.
Too easy.
Yes.
My brain was corrupted at an early age. Hey, our first story is about. We need reverb on this one. Dinosaurs. Okay, that was fine. We haven't done a dinosaur story. We usually do a lot of space stories, but this dinosaur story tonight is about scientists have found.
It's related to space.
Kind of, yes, because they found a dinosaur fossil that they can accurately say died like in the great kill off 65, 66 million years ago, whichever calendar you choose to use. I don't know exactly what evidence they have for this, but I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was because they looked at his Apple Watch and went, "Hey, look at that! He died during the comet thing."
Yeah,
because his heart stopped 66 million years ago, but that wasn't it. Because he didn't have an Apple Watch, he had an Android, and it was this is going to be part of a special that's coming out on BBC. What did they give a title for this show? But of course, Sir David Attenborough is going to be the narrator and host of this show because he was around when the dinosaurs were around.
Oh, it's called Dinosaurs: The Final Day with David Attenborough.
With Sir David Attenborough.
Excuse me, Sir David Attenborough.
It was a Tuesday. I was there.
Tuesday. He probably could have been there.
I was out walking my Velociraptor.
Yeah.
I was in my mid-20s at the time. So that's pretty cool that they can say this was there, and it makes me wonder where or how many others they can find. There were some interesting quotes, not a long article, and there's a beautiful video. Unfortunately, they put a commercial for the new Jurassic Park movie right below. Fooled me.
How appropriate.
Yeah. Which I have no interest in watching other than, hey, look, they put the new Jurassic heroes together with the old Jurassic heroes. They're bringing back like the original crew with Jeff Goldblum and
that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So that's pretty fun. Where did they say they found this? It was in the Tanis dig site in North Dakota.
Hey, it sounds like they're taking a page from Star Trek Picard for next season.
Fossils?
Yeah, sort of. No, they're bringing back.
Did you just call Sir Patrick Stewart a fossil?
Well, I love him and all, but nah. You look at they're bringing the whole crew back. So
going back in history. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the next season they're bringing the whole crew back. You're talking about the movies. I was talking about the special on TV. Okay.
I was talking about the special.
So cool stuff. You know, there were 2 things I was interested in when I was 10 years old. One of them was space, and the other was dinosaurs.
Oh, really? Well, here you go. I got them back to back.
Yep. That's why the whole asteroid theory is fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, and Star Trek.
Yeah.
There were
Sorry.
three things I was interested in as a kid.
Oh wait, girls. And then there was 4 things. All right. So I didn't read this whole article, so I'm just gonna I don't know if you got some highlights, that's great. But I put it in here because last week we were talking about uh this particular laser, and then this article came up. That's why
It's not a
um
laser. It's a super
excuse me.
maser, a
It's a powerful space laser.
mega maser, which
Yeah,
just
mega
sounds
laser.
like it's straight out of a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah, that's right. Mega laser.
Mega maser. A laser uses light, and a maser is a microwave. Different parts of the
Yes.
electromagnetic spectrum.
Hmm.
So yeah, the Meerkat radio telescope was supposed to go up for what was this 3,000-hour expedition,
Hmm.
and in the first night they find this thing. It's the Meerkat radio telescope is located in South Africa, and they named it. I'm hoping I get this right. Nkalakatha, which is Zulu for big boss. It's kind of cool. They discovered this. It's if you know your constellations, it's just to the what left of Orion. You're not going to
Okay.
see it because it's in microwave, obviously,
Right.
but it was pretty cool. The technical name, get this. I should put this to music, like the 0800 999.
Yeah. Right.
Right. It's WISEAJ 033 Oh, now I have to change my password.
Right. Yeah, that is your password. Oops.
The hydroxyl megamasers act like bright lights that say, "Here is a collision of galaxies that is making new stars and feeding massive black holes." That's a direct quote from the article. And the interesting thing is that the wavelengths of hydroxyl megamasers are they were out looking for um, the 21 centimeter wavelength emitted by neutral hydrogen. Okay, we're all familiar with the 21 centimeter length because that's what they use as a standard unit of measurement on the disk that went out on Voyager. Yes,
Mhm.
you were paying attention back in grade school when they did that.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
well, because they were looking in the 21 centimeter wavelength, they actually caught some of these 18 centimeter things because this thing's 5 billion years away. It's 5 billion light years away. It's but because of the redshift, it got stretched out to about 21, and they went, "Hey, look at that."
Yeah.
That's
Check it
why
out.
the cosmic microwave radio background
Mhm.
radiation
Which
is
is everywhere.
actually it was like it wasn't microwaves back then. It was like really short wavelengths, but because it got redshifted, it's a lot stretchy. And this stuff got stretchy by about 3 centimeters, as a matter of fact. So, kind of cool how they put this all together. If you want to find out more, you can go to episode 670 of our show notes over at chuckchat.com/technorama. You know how hard it is not to say the topic is Trek.
I know. I know, right?
V'ger 2 nights in a row. Yes. I think I had a mention of him on karaoke
Yeah.
last night. Did they use masers in the Godzilla movie series as some sort of freezy ray?
Uh, did they? I don't know. I can't remember.
Lasers, masers, and quasars, and
Mhm.
and phasers. Oh my!
Phasers. Crossing all the streams.
All right, quick shout out to the chat room. We do have a number of people that are hanging out with us. Thank you very much on Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern. Let's see if we can mine some names for you and shame them so that their friends know they were there and they went, "Oh,
Yeah.
I heard you listening to Technorama." I was like, "Wait,
Roll
how
call.
did you know I was there if you were listening too?"
Yeah.
It's kind of like buying porn.
What?
Clinton Alvord
What?
being caught. Never
Who
mind.
buys it?
John Miller Jr. Oh, you win, my friend. You win. There you go.
There you go.
John Miller Jr., Clinton Alvord. We have Mike Robeson, and there's somebody else out there, a couple of somebody else's that haven't put any comments in yet. but
Yeah.
we are just in a really punchy mood. It must be the stress from work ganging up on us. I
It's
need
one of
an
those
outlet.
days.
I need an outlet. And there's one over there, but there's something plugged into it. Let's go into the Remember When, shall we? I love this
Yes.
song, but we're going to only play a little bit so, YouTube doesn't block us again.
Yeah. Well, this one article I put in here was it's actually very long. It's a whole
It's a
story.
very long article.
So I'm not going to go over all the details here, but it is creating the Commodore 64, the engineer's story. This is a side of the story you don't normally hear. You always hear the commercial side, oh, we had customers asking for this and we did this and, blah, blah, blah. This is the engineer's side, and this is about them designing the thing. So, again, it's very long. Talks about all the decisions they made with the software and all the chips.
The hardware. Yep.
All the hardware. It is pretty fascinating. I'm not even finished reading it. It's so long.
No, I
But
didn't either. I did jump down to the part about the disk drive because that was the Achilles heel, or the, what do they call it? The albatross of the Commodore 64.
Yeah.
The disk drives were so slow.
They were slow.
And it was
But-
interesting to find out why. They gave a great historical
Mhm.
reason. It actually goes back to the Commodore PET computer, and they used that technology on the VIC-20. And
Yes.
some marketing person said, you know what? We should make sure that the 64 is compatible with the 20. And boom, that was the problem.
Yeah. Now I will say the 1541 drive was very flexible, and there was a lot you could do with it.
Oh, was that a joke to floppy disks?
Yeah. No.
No, you
Didn't mean it
can't,
that
can't
way.
make a wet joke out of a,
Nah,
can't
but it
make a
was a
joke
very-
out of a wet paper bag.
It was a very useful tool, and but even though it was a little slow. I
Well,
remember
it was useful when you started out with cassette decks, sure. It's
Oh
not
my
useful
God.
when,
And that's
when you
exactly
upgrade
what
to a hard drive.
And I did start with a tape deck, and that I thought that was great at the time. And then of course you go, oh, did I record over the last time and then I got to where I
That's
would make
That's where backup
copies.
tapes came in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I have bought
The,
tons of cassette tapes to save my programs.
I found it interesting to see the price list of all their parts.
Oh
It
yeah.
was 3 ROMs at $1 each, 8 dynamic RAMs at $1.85 each.
Yeah. And you know what? You look at those prices, and you look at what Steve Wozniak was doing, where he was combining things, and
Yep.
they were trying to eliminate the more chips that they had to put on the board to lower the cost. So it's all a numbers game. It's pretty awesome.
Let's see. The 6510 microprocessor was $1 to $2. The keyboard, less than 10. That was like the most expensive part on your power supply and miscellaneous connectors, $5 to $10.
Yeah.
Packaging and manual, $1 to $2. A handful
Yeah.
of TTL buffers, power regulators, and capacitors for a total of $5.
Now, those prices you're talking about, they're also looking at a run of what is it, 5 million units.
Yeah.
So yeah, you buy in bulk like that, you're going to get some.
It
Some decent
started out
prices.
around what, $549, but they got it down to about $135 after a while.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive from a pricing standpoint.
hmm What's more impressive is how my parents were afforded to buy one for me when I got it.
Did you do the calculation of what that would be in today's dollars?
No, I'm scared to. From 1980 bucks to today.
Yeah.
No,
My-
what would it?
Well, my last Sunday, my daughter was doing that for my dad because he said, "Hey, here's how much I paid for a semester of college," and he had the receipt. It's
Oh
like-
yeah.
So the government can't come after him for a student loan because he has the receipt, and it was like $72 for the
Yeah, well, my-
semester.
On my birthday a few years ago, Dad, maybe on my 50th, Dad gave me the receipt that he had to pay the doctor for my birth, which was like 160 bucks.
These were a lot
Nowadays,
cheaper
this-
back then.
Yeah. Hey, by the way,
that doesn't even
oh-
cover like your portion of the insurance, your copay.
right. Yeah. Hey, by the way, in this article, there's some screenshots. Some Activision. I'd forgotten about the Ghostbusters game, man. I hadn't thought about that in forever. And they had one of the things listed on there is the marshmallow sensor. Yeah. And that the things that you buy to put on the car, to
Right.
kind of make it better. Then there was Decathlon. There's the Oh, what was that? What was that game? The one where they go down into the not Mission
Pitfall?
Impossible. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it would start up. We had a
We're good at that on this show. We can't remember anything.
well, we had this shall we say a copy of this game, and it was messed up. It would say, the evil guy would say, "Stay a while, stay forever," but our copy went, "Stay a while, stay for," because it got copied wrong. Stay
And
forever.
you laughed every time.
Yeah.
You laughed every time.
It's just
All
like
right.
that. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I can.
We've
go on
got
for
another
hours.
story from the historical archives. This is a video on YouTube of a.
Oh,
I don't.
Impossible Mission. This is it from Epics. It was Impossible Mission. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're supposed to remember that like in 3 days.
Yeah. When I
Put
go to
it in the
bed.
comments section.
Impossible Mission.
Channel 2 goes to color for the first time on YouTube. I don't know whose Channel 2 this was, but they had a couple of news anchors sitting at the desk and they were in black and white. They go, well, today is a very historic day. We're going to color for the first time. And those of you who are still watching us in black and white will notice an improved monochrome experience. And then one of the news anchors gets up. This guy's like in his late 50s, maybe 60s.
Oh yeah.
And he walks over to the other desk, sits down, and it's still in black and white. I'm going, not working yet.
Yeah. Not yet.
And then they flip the switch and, it comes to life. And it's pretty dramatic when you see color television for the first time. And he gives himself a little deprecating humor. He goes, there are other people on this station that would have been better than this old reporter for putting in front of a camera.
Yeah, it
like,
was funny.
Words to that effect. You're like, wow.
I like when they start off though.
Blatant
He goes, "So Bob, do you know what would be dramatic today?" Kind of dry talk back and forth.
If a man said he was pregnant,
Yeah.
that would be dramatic.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
Okay, Clinton did it for us. $5.95 in 1982 would be $1,749.34 today. Yeah, where's Eric's when you need him? So $1,700 for a Christmas present. That's a lot.
It was a lot.
Isn't that like that's higher than a high-end game controller these days?
Well, yeah. Well, more than just a Xbox, right?
Right.
Just a base model.
But that could be razors and razor blades too, where the console is a lost leader, but they're making it up for in the games.
There was probably a lot of that, I'm sure, and accessories. They had some. Well, you could get cartridges and all kinds of. They licensed stuff like the port, for people to make cards and cartridges rather. Then you got game ports, and of course, it was funny. The game controller was compatible with the Atari, so you already automatically had a joystick in the house.
It was a DB9 connector?
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't have an Atari in the house. I didn't have a Commodore in the house either, so I guess I was okay.
The other benefit was if you had one in the house, you got a joystick. If you didn't, there's a big market with a bunch of joysticks.
You could use an egg beater.
I probably
if you MacGyvered an egg beater up to a toaster. No, don't do that.
Go left. Go right.
We have we have another interesting video for you. Well, it's from a show called The Incredible Machine back in the 1960s. And I really want a Mystery Science Theater this video. It was dull as drying paint.
I know, but what's funny, I like the intro music.
Oh, and it went on for like 30 seconds. It was the longest stupid. It was this early computer synth music. It sounded like someone was literally doing it with their mouth at times. This whole music, the music for this entire show, which was only 11 minutes, but it felt like it was about an hour.
Yeah.
And the actors, I think they were real people who couldn't act. What if we increase the modulation? They were trying to get computers to speak. Now, remember, this is the 1960s. So a lot of this stuff was pretty radical, like the light pen on the CRT thing. And
I was going to say, I thought the light pen was cool. Yeah.
Well, not only were they drawing the circuit, they were doing a simulation because it says, hey, wait a minute, you've got an open thing on the amplifier or whatever it was. Oh, that's something that I didn't see until like the late 80s was electronic design and simulation tools. That was pretty cool.
where they had the little simulated
The
objects.
circuit simulator. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty darn cool. But there was some really hokey stuff in there. I mean, you saw lots of paper tape, lots of
there's some
real tape.
They were showing images.
Oh,
would-
the images! Oh my god!
Yeah. Like
By today's standards, those were nauseating.
Here is a GIF, Bob. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. You can't call it that. CompuServe wasn't around to give it that name.
No, that's
But
right.
yeah, there was lots of computer generated animation, and they'd display something so fast, and then it would morph into something else. I'm going, I'm on an LSD trip here. What computer simulated LSD? It's a wonderful thing, kids. But try to. It was fun to watch at the time, but I don't know what this was for. If it was to get people interested in computers, it didn't work.
Just says it's a very early film about computers, and it was produced in 1968 by Bell Labs and directed by Paul Cohen, not one of the Cohen brothers. Obviously.
Could have been. It was their
It looks at
crazy uncle.
It says it looks at early experiments in computer graphics, voice synthesis, and computer music. Bell and Howell are seen making steps to improve computers and how they work. So
They did
Bell
have
and
it sing a
Howell,
song too.
Oh, yeah. they were tweaking the voice out while they were working.
Yeah.
It was working. Yeah,
It was
kinda neat.
it sounded like Stephen Hawking's best hits. I mean, it was that's what it sounded like to me.
Clinton said usually those were for schools, and I would say so, but I think it was a little more for Bell.
It had that, it had that school
that
feeling, like you'd get the film in a can and you had to put it
Yeah.
in the projector, and I was usually the nerd putting
All right.
the fit
All right,
threading the
Chucky.
projector.
Load up the film. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right. You're the projectionist for the day.
I was the projectionist. I knew how to run the opaque projector. I knew how to run the overhead projector.
Wow, look at you.
I knew how to run the cassette deck. Oh yeah.
I just knew I could melt a gummy bear on the overhead projector.
The opaque projector was the heat. That was a monster heat source.
Actually, any of those
Global
old
warming.
things all have.
Yeah. Grade schools in the 70s, 60s, and 70s were a source of global warming. Not this
Yeah.
cold stuff.
Yeah, right. Not this LED world we live in now.
There must have been like this giant mercury halogen bulb in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give me the bulbs with heavy metals inside. That's what we need.
Bring back toxic metals.
That's right.
I turned out okay. Mercury didn't have any effect on me. Okay, let's get on with thanking our patrons for this nonsense.
Yeah. It's
you.
their fault. It's their fault.
It's our patrons' fault.
Yeah, they're enablers.
They keep paying for it, and we keep coming back. This show is brought to you by you. Thank you very much, patrons. You take care of the bills associated with this show, the software, the hardware, the hosting, everything. Did anybody ask? What was that?
Oh,
Ask it to open the
the
pod
pod
bay
bay
door.
doors.
No,
Should
we're
have.
moving on. We're moving on to
Okay,
Alexis
sorry.
Saran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Avner Braverman. Thank you, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris MC, Dan Demand Coyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, John Clifford, John Noble. Wait, we're missing somebody in here. Who was our new guy last week? Tim Cook.
Tim Cook,
We forgot to put Tim Cook on here.
my cousin-in-law.
One of the Tim Cooks in this world. That
That's
Tim
right.
Cook?
That
No,
Tim
that
Cook.
John Noble and John Clifford, if I didn't mention them already. Yorga Schrawen, Kyle Nishioka. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Mark Kilfoyle, Matt Baum, Mike Wills, Chris Martinez, Saturday Morning Media. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I need a pronunciation guide on that.
I think it's French.
Stephen Weshy, sorry, Steve Therian, Steve Cody, and Steve London. Thank you, everybody. There's an address on the bottom of the screen, but I will read it to you if you're listening to this in podcast form later. I'll try to say it slow in case you're listening at double speed. Patreon.com/Technorama Podcast. I don't know where this is coming from tonight.
I don't know. What did you drink? Huh?
Water, honest.
Yeah.
It's all water.
Oh, I got.
Last night, Toily made a comment on my karaoke show. That was fun. I was singing
Oh, really?
R-O-C-K in the USA, and he said, "What is it? And where is it? And how do you spell it?"
Right.
It's funny because I'm the only one who was probably watching at the time that could hear Toily's voice in that comment.
Oh, yeah.
All right, enough of the music. Let's go to what's next? Remote.
There you go.
And now, Channel 2 News in color. All right, I have one for you that I watched this week. Very fascinating. I don't know how this came up on my search results. It was called Bathtubs over Broadway. Bathtubs on Broadway? Bathtubs on
We know
one of
somebody
those
that might
two.
be interested in bathtubs.
Search for bathtubs. This
Melissa-
is an
Miss Alyssa
interesting
Bartell?
show. So Steve Young, one of the former comedy writers for David Letterman, had found this interesting subgenre of music of Broadway musicals, but they weren't on Broadway. They were oftentimes from Broadway writers, like the guy who wrote Fiddler on the Roof was involved with this. So name names, and they were writing these for corporate sales gigs. So you know how a lot of companies have an annual sales kickoff, ours included, to get the salespeople energized. And well, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s, you'd have Ford, John Deere, Procter and Gamble, American Standard, like the toilet people. They were
Yeah.
having these sales trade shows, and they would hire these people to put on full-on musical sales pitches with dancers and orchestras and pyrotechnics. They said, "How much did it cost for what was it? I think they said, how much was it for Fiddler on the Roof to put the production together?" And the guy says, "Oh, about $500,000." And he said, "How much was it for Ford to do theirs?" "About $3 million." Like, what? And what they would do is they'd give the employees or the attendees souvenir vinyl records. These were, they said right on the label, not for sale, not for resale, not for airplay. They were souvenirs, and they're still floating around out there. And Steve has been snatching these up and making a collection out of them.
Mhm.
But he took it one step further. It wasn't just all about him collecting music. He was starting to reach out to some of these people who are still alive, the performers, the producers, the writers, and created this beautiful relationship. The underlying message of the whole show is follow your passion, and it will take you in places you never even imagined. And they even had a musical number at the end. And I got to tell you, I was getting a little misty at the end of this thing, partly because some of the people that were in the show, I think it was recorded around 2015
Mhm.
or 2016. Some of the
Right.
people had passed on, and they had a thank you at the end. So it was very touching and very heartfelt. At first, you're going, "This guy's a crackpot. He likes this music," and then they it was fascinating because it was quality music. It was performed well. It was written well. It just had lyrics that you wouldn't expect, like "You're gonna love the new Chevrolet." You know, it's like, really? Okay, well, except for the words, this is pretty catchy.
Right.
So Netflix, Bathtubs on Broadway, and the reason it's
And
called Bathtubs on Broadway is because they had albums like Diesel Dazzle,
Diesel Dazzle. Okay.
and there was one called Bathtubs. I think that was the name of one of the albums, Bathtubs on Broadway. And they even had some film footage from some of these productions. There's a lady
Right.
standing in her bathroom singing this little, slow melodic thing. My bathroom, it's a safe place for me. Like, and she's, it was really fun to watch. It was. I think Steve was sitting on the couch at one point. And he said, "This is either the worst thing I've ever seen, or you say to yourself, this is either the worst music I've ever heard or the
Right.
best music I've ever heard." I mean, it's just sort of in that weird range where, yeah, it's kind of both.
Right. That's funny. Oh yeah, there's plenty of that go around.
So it's about an hour and a half, one show, done, and I enjoyed it immensely. Didn't think I would, but I really did.
Okay, well, good. I'll have to check that one out too. So you're like feeding me a bunch of docs to go check
Mhm.
out because I don't know where you're finding all these. I look at Netflix and I'm just like, there's not crap to
It's
watch.
Well, I'm finding all this stuff to watch, and I go, "I already watched that."
Oh.
I don't remember the titles exactly. Sometimes I have to go in episodes and more. And they're all
Hey-
red line, red line, red line, red
It's
line. It's
like,
like,
hey, Chuck, we added something we thought you'd be interested in. Oh, I've already seen it.
yes, they're starting to recommend things I've already watched. Like,
Right.
okay, there's a flaw in your algorithm here.
Yeah.
What
Now,
do
I
you got?
did watch All the Old Knives, which is a newer movie on Amazon Prime. It's a Prime movie. It has Chris Pine in it, and I'll read you the little description. When the CIA discovers one of its agents leaked information that cost more than 100 people their lives, veteran operative Henry Pelham is assigned to root out the mole with his former lover colleague Cecilia Harrison. And this movie had me guessing who did what all the way to the end. Same thing with Kim, which is my wife usually, figures out,
Yeah.
who done it at the beginning. And
I love it when you can't
It's-
figure it out.
yeah, I kind of took a guess early on, and then Kim goes, "Wow, you were right." I was like, "Yeah, but I really didn't. I was just taking a guess, But
It was Blofeld from the old James Bond movie.
yeah, but it was a pretty good movie. There wasn't a lot of action or anything, but it wasn't quite like that. It was more of a psychological, kind of thriller. So anyway, I would go check it out. It's thought it was pretty interesting.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you very much. That kind of rounds out the show. We just have to leave you with a question. We're going to a little bit shorter tonight. At least we're not doing like 8 movies and 3 series each.
We can stretch
That
it out, I'm sure.
That was last week. Yeah. Slow movie week for
Well,
me.
we talked about it a little bit on the topic of Trek. And
Oh!
we watched the newer version of the motion picture.
Yep. Star Trek The Motion Picture is out on Paramount Plus.
Which I'll be honest with you, I think I like this version better than the theatrical cut. I think this is about it.
Well, the director's edition has always been better than the theatrical cut, in my opinion. They just had some post-production stuff that they were able
Yeah.
to do, and obviously upscale it to 8K.
Well, as
So-
I mentioned on the show, I think I even own the director's edition, but the one that came out a long time ago, but I just never really watched it. It was either the 79 one because that's what I had digitally, or the new one that just came out. And after watching it, I'm like, I think this is much better. It tweaked it, little pieces here and there, moved around, and
You
some
can't
things
fix the
added.
pacing that much, but it
No.
still moves along as it moves along.
And that's okay. And as I also mentioned, Roger Ebert's original review, he
Yeah.
said technically it's a great film. If you don't try to get too invested, you just back off and just watch it for what it is and let it, kind of come to you.
And I think
that's
they
the way
also
it
upped
should be.
the audio, did they not? 5.1 or 7.1?
Oh yeah, I even with my little setup here, I've got just these Logitech. it's got
That was
two
that was
speakers in
mainly
it.
around the effects and the music.
I think
but the
so.
audio of the voices
Well-
still sounded very muddy.
Sometimes in some places I noticed that the audio was maybe pushed up a little bit. Then I remembered it. So I think in some ways they leveled some things out.
They ran through
Some-
level later.
Yeah, but some things were still the same. But there was excuse me, even like I said, I've got the Logitech speakers here on my computer with subwoofer,
Mhm.
and they're good. Not Dolby Atmos, but I could tell that some things sounded a lot better. I tell you one thing I love from that movie. That's the Klingon theme. Dun, 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 yeah, you got the little
Yeah,
castanets or something. going.
they carried that through a few of the movies, didn't they?
I did, and I love that. I love that theme. It's great.
So on the theme of movies,
hmm
that's our question of the week. What movies have not aged well?
The Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas.
Well, you were really quick with that one. I'd say all my home movies have not aged well.
No, that would be you looking at your own movies.
Right. That's what I was going
Yeah.
for. I'm glad you got it.
Ice Pirates,
The Black Hole.
the Black Hole. I wanted, even as a kid, I think I wanted to like the Black Hole a lot more than I actually did.
Yeah.
It looked like it had all the elements were there. But when you finally saw it, it was like it had the pacing of the motion picture.
Disney had a few rotten apples in the barrel.
Yeah. it had some cool moments. But yeah,
I'm waiting for the chat to kind of come alive, but maybe they all fell asleep.
yeah.
thought This would be their moment to shine.
Yep. All right.
Yep. Thanks, chat. Well, with that, we're gonna just do our ending then. You can put wherever you want in the social media question of the week next week. Give you a few minutes to like ferment your answer. How's that for a term?
Ferment. Well,
Put it in the pot and let it stew. All right. Thank you very much. Craig, why don't you put up that contact information? I don't think we put that up yet. Look at
what's
that.
up?
707. I'm going to read it right there. 707
Oh, here you go.
530
A minute.
242. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
A
There's one.
classic.
707 530 chat. 707 530 2428. Or email us, technorama@chuckchat.com. We'd love to hear from you. And thank you once again to our patrons for making all of this possible. As Craig called you, enablers. You can
That's
find
right.
all of our stuff by searching for Technorama Podcast anywhere on the internet. It'll come up somewhere, even in the manure pile out back. So until next week, everybody stay safe, have fun. We will talk to you again real soon, and Craig's going to give you a binary high five.
101.
Thanks,
Live
everybody.
long and prosper. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I forgot to hit record again. Just kidding.
That's like,
They're going to hear that on the recording and go, wait, what?
I'm
If
out.
you forgot to if you forgot to hit record, how did you hear that? Leave them laughing. Oh, Craig, you'd enjoy this. Let's see if I can do this real quick.
Are we? You want to end the broadcast?
Yes, we should end
All right.
the broadcast. We're going to do our Patreon show real quick. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Craig's going to hit end broadcast right
Bye.
now.